very good morning to our respected chief guest, Lieutenant General Anbu Devraj, his wife, Ms. Gauri Anbu, President, Mr. Jacob Thomas, Senior Vice President, Student and Staff Welfare, Ms. Sarah Jacob, Head of School, Mr. Vinod Singh, Headmistress, Ms. Deepa Suresh, esteemed members of the Academic Council, teachers, and my fellow patriots. It is with immense pride and patriotic fervour that Good Shepherd International School comes together today to commemorate the 77th Republic Day of India, a historic day that marks the adoption of our Constitution and reaffirms our faith in justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. As we celebrate the spirit of India, let us remember that the Republic is not just a form of governance, but a promise upheld by the sacrifices of our freedom fighters and protected by the courage of our armed forces. The celebrations begin with the bugle call, sounded by Aryan Patel, Prajwal Sahu, Hirav Kangad, Avyuk Nagpal, and Arav Jangid, signaling the arrival of our distinguished chief guest. Lieutenant General Anbu Devraj has been bestowed with the Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Uttam Yudh Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Yudh Seva Medal, and Sena Medal in recognition of his distinguished and exemplary service to the nation. Patriotism finds its most stirring expression through music. We now invite the Indian Music Choir to present Vande Mataram from the movie Fighter, a soulful and powerful tribute that ignites love for the motherland in every heart.
ख्वाब नहीं एक जश्न है भारत रग रग में है जीत की आदत ऐसा हुनर दुश्मन भी सलामी दे तू सूरज हम तेरे उजाले तुझसे जुदा नहीं होने वाले आखिर तक हम सबर रखेंगे जय हिंद जो नस नस में है हर बाजी फिर बस में है दिल जान के हिंदुस्तान बोले सुजलाम सुफलाम हरे शीतलाम सच्च श्यामला वंदे मातरम सुजलाम सुफलाम हरे शीतलाम सच्च श्यामला वंदे मातरम ना ही ज़मीन आसमानों में ना ही मुमकिन है दो जहानों में जज्बे इरादे और ये जुनून बनते हैं दिल के कारखानों में पहुंच गए अंबर से आगे धरती से फिर भी बंधे हैं धागे रहते वतन की मिट्टी से जुड़ के जय हिंद जो नस नस में है हर बाजी फिर बस में है दिल थाम के हिंदुस्तान बोले सुजलाम सुफलाम भले शीतलाम सच्च श्यामला वंदे मातरम सुजलाम सुफलाम भले शीतलाम सच्च श्यामला वंदे मातरम
Wow, that was an outstanding performance. The voice of the youth is the voice of the nation's future. I now invite Para Chauhan of grade 9 to share her thoughts with us and address the gathering.
I would like to echo the thoughts of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. I could Freedom is not given, it is taken. And once taken, it must be protected. Unquote. A very good morning to everyone present here. It is an honor to address you all today. Today, on the 26th of January, we celebrate Republic Day, not just a day of independence. Independence gave us freedom, but Republic gave us direction. It told India how to use that freedom wisely. As we stand before our national flag, we are not merely celebrating a holiday or performing a ceremony. We are standing at a defining moment of our identity as Indians. The 26th of January is not just a date in history, it is a day India chose dignity over domination, justice over injustice, and democracy over dictatorship. Republic Day is not only about remembrance, but it is also about responsibility. Our freedom was not achieved in comfort or silence. It was born out of pain, sacrifice, and unbreakable courage. For nearly 200 years, India lived under foreign rule where voice was suppressed, rights were denied, and dreams were crushed. Yet, even in the darkest times, the spirit of India refused to die. Mahatma Gandhi challenged an empire with the weapon of truth and non-violence. Bhagat Singh walked to the gallows with fearlessness in his eyes and patriotism in his heart. Subhash Chandra Bose reminded the nation that freedom demanded sacrifice and bravery. Countless men, women, and even children gave up their lives, their families, and their future so that India could breathe freely one day. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar ensured that this hard-won freedom was protected forever by giving India a constitution rooted in equality, justice, and dignity for all. What does the word republic actually mean? It means that the power of a country lies in the hands of its people, not in a king, not in a ruler, and not in a single authority. Every citizen matters, every voice counts. To understand this better, let us think about our residential school. Our school is not run by one student alone. It runs because there's a system, our mentors, student leaders, rules, responsibilities, and mutual respect. In the same way, India became a republic when it decided that the country would run by laws made by the people for the people. On 26 January 1950, India adopted its constitution and officially became a republic. This constitution is the guiding handbook of our nation. It ensures equality, justice, and liberty, just as our school rules ensure fairness, safety, and discipline for everyone living here. Living in a residential school teaches us something very important. Freedom without rules leads to disorder. If there were no study hours, no silence rule, and no responsibilities, life here would become difficult. Similarly, a republic survives only when its citizens respect the constitution and follow its value. Being part of a republic also means having duties. Just as we are expected to keep our campus clean, respect teachers, help juniors, and follow discipline, citizens of a republic must respect diversity, protect unity, and stand up for what is right. Dear friends, a republic is not built only on election or laws. It is built on character, and character is shaped in places like schools and hostels. When we learn honesty in exams, teamwork on the playground, and empathy in dorm life, we are living to be true citizens of a republic. The tricolor above us reminds us that our republic stands on sacrifice, peace, and progress. It reminds us that we are different yet united. Just like students from different backgrounds living together under one roof. On this Republic Day, let us not only celebrate India as a free nation, but as a strong republic. Let us promise to respect the Constitution, follow discipline, and carry the spirit of a responsibility wherever we go. The future of India does not wait for tomorrow. It is being shaped by what we choose to do today. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Para, for that insightful speech. Patriotism is not only spoken, it is felt, lived, and expressed. Get ready to witness this emotion unfold through a graceful, patriotic dance performance set to the timeless composition Ma Tujhe Salam.
सुनो गौर से दुनिया वालों, बुरी नजर ना हम पे डालो, चाहे जितना जोर लगा लो, सबसे आगे होंगे हिंदुस्तानी। सुनो गौर से दुनिया वालों, बुरी नजर ना हम पे डालो, चाहे जितना जोर लगा लो, सबसे आगे होंगे हिंदुस्तानी। हमने कहा है, तुम भी कहो, हमने कहा है जो तुम भी कहो। सुनो गौर से दुनिया वालों, बुरी नजर ना हम पे डालो, चाहे जितना जोर लगा लो, सबसे आगे होंगे हिंदुस्तानी। चलते शरारे हैं, पानी के धारे हैं, हम काटे कटते नहीं।
वक्त है, उम्र है, जोश है और जान है, ना झुके ना मिटे, देश तो अपनी शान है।
हमने कहा है जो तुम भी कहो। ए सुनो गौर से दुनिया वालों, बुरी नजर ना हम पे डालो, चाहे जितना जोर लगा लो, सबसे आगे होंगे हिंदुस्तानी।
सारा जहां देख लिया है, कहीं भी तेरे जैसा कोई नहीं है। 80 नहीं 100 दिन दुनिया घुमा है, नहीं कहे तेरे जैसा कोई नहीं। मैं गाया जहां भी बस तेरी याद थी, जो मेरे साथ थी, मुझको तड़पाती रुलाती। सबसे प्यारी तेरी सूरत, प्यार है बस तेरा प्यार ही। माँ तुझे सलाम, माँ तुझे सलाम, अम्मा तुझे सलाम।
That was truly captivating and filled with devotion to the nation. I now invite Meera Vadivelan of Grade 11 to deliver the welcome address and extend a heartfelt welcome to our chief guest and distinguished gathering.
Good morning to one and all present here. I am Meera Vadivelan of Grade 11, and it is my honor and privilege to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Lt General Devraj Anbu, PVSM, UISM, YSM, SM veteran, on this momentous occasion of Republic Day. Lieutenant General Devraj Anbu was commissioned into the Indian Army in June 1980 and has an illustrious career spanning nearly 4 decades of exemplary service. His leadership journey includes key organizational and operational appointments, including his role as an international military observer with the United Nations in Namibia and as the commander of the prestigious Indian military training team in Thimphu, Bhutan. Before his superannuation in August 2019, Lieutenant General Devraj Anbu served as the Vice Chief of the Indian Army, the General Officer Commanding-in-Chief of the Northern Command, and the General Officer Commanding of the renowned Gajraj Corps in the Northeast Sector. An accomplished academic, he owns postgraduate degrees from Madras University, Chennai, and Devi Alia University, Indore. A highly decorated officer, Lieutenant General Devraj Anbu, has been awarded the Sena Medal, Gallantry, Yudh Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Uttam Yudh Seva Medal, and the Param Vishisht Seva Medal, reflecting his unwavering dedication to the nation. Post-retirement, he continues to contribute to national thought and leadership as a distinguished fellow of the United Service Institution, USI, an independent director, and as the former president of the Indian Golf Union until December 2022. He is currently settled in Kannur in the Nilgiris of Tamil Nadu. We are equally honored by the presence of Mrs. Gauri Anbu, and we extend to her a warm and heartfelt welcome. On behalf of Good Shepherd International School, we're honored to present a welcome bouquet to our chief guest and his wife. I also take this opportunity to welcome our president, Mr. Jacob Thomas, Senior Vice President, Student and Staff Welfare, Mrs. Sarah Jacob, Head of School, Mr. Vinod Singh, Headmistress, Mrs. Deepa Suresh, our coordinators, teachers, and my fellow young patriots. Republic Day marks India's historic decision to adopt the Constitution of India, a visionary document crafted by the architects of our democracy. Most notably, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, along with leaders such as Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and other members of the Constituent Assembly. Their collective wisdom laid the foundation for a nation committed to justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. The Constitution was not born overnight. It was a result of numerous debates and discussions that acknowledged India's immense diversity, a diversity once viewed by our colonizers as irreconcilable. History has since proven otherwise. India stands as a living example that unity can and does exist in diversity, upheld by the rule of law and shared democratic values. As students and citizens of tomorrow, Republic Day reminds us not only of our rights, but also of our responsibility to uphold the ideals enshrined in our Constitution. Thank you, and I wish everyone a proud and meaningful Republic Day.
Thank you, Meera, for addressing the gathering. It is now a proud privilege to listen to a leader whose life has been dedicated to the service of our nation. May I invite our esteemed chief guest, Lieutenant General Devraj Anbu, recipient of the Param Vishisht Seva Medal, Uttam Yudh Seva Medal, Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Yudh Seva Medal, and Sena Medal to address the gathering.
respected President, Mr. Jacob Thomas, Mrs. Sarah Jacob, the Vice President, Mr. Rahul Singh, the head of the school, and Mrs. Deepa Suresh, the headmistress, coordinators, counselors, staff of the Good Shepherd International School, and my dear students. I think it's a great honor for me to have unfurled the tricolor a little while ago and be present here to be addressing such a vibrant gathering here. I'm indeed grateful for the honor that's been bestowed on me to speak to you all today on the occasion of the 77th Republic Day. Extend a warm greetings on this day and a happy Republic Day to one and all. It's 76 years of India's independence. I think we have come a long way as a constitutional democracy where we have upheld the ethos of unity in diversity, pluralism in religious and other matters. And the country has placed itself in the international arena as a country which is to be looked upon and progressing very fast. India's democracy is at an inflection point. You're all going to be part of that. As the previous student had recollected, India's constitution is one of the strong pillars that has endured these 76 years of country's independence and republic. The people who have labored to bring such a constitution with a vision, they were well aware that what they are going to make is going to really make or break the country. Therefore, the deliberation was so intense, almost over 3 years, team led by Dr. Ambedkar, and they really produced a fine document after a lot of drafts being amended, debated, and then finally adopted. Having adopted, I think the country has gone through almost 106 times the constitution has been amended. The very fact that the constitution has been amended, it speaks volumes of the governance process in the country. It's an evolutionary practice that a very good country would adopt to keep in tune with the changes and ensure that it serves the best to the people of the country. And the last of the 106th Amendment was a path-breaking where the reservation for the women was given in the Lok Sabha, the state assemblies, and also in Delhi Assembly. I think it's a great step where the reservation for women is going to be there in the heart of the seat where decisions are going to be made for the future of the people. A democracy like this is what you all should be proud of, and I'm sure you are indeed proud of this. When we look at Republic of India, we celebrated on 26th of January. I just want to give a little bit of a history to this. Actually, the Constitution was passed 2 months prior to 26th of January. That's on the 26th of November, 1949. But still we decided to have it 2 months later and celebrate on 26th of January. If you have to look at the reason, I think we have to little go back in history, and in 1927 was when the freedom fighters then were looking at a full freedom for India. But at the time, the Indian National Congress was divided in this, whether we should have a full-fledged independent India or a sort of a dominion status with still Britishers having some say in the governance. But I think at that time, our first Prime Minister, Jawaharlal Nehru, was quite firm, and he spearheaded the movement for making India fully independent. While this was going on, why he could not convince people. It was in Madras, then Madras, the conference was taking place, but partial mobilization he could do, but to his luck in 28, Simon Commission was to come to India to make the constitutional amendments to give more powers to the Indian. Till then, we were being very limited powers were there. The problem in that commission was they did not include anybody from India, or they had a thought of giving full independence. They still wanted to hold their say in the governance and be part of the British Empire, which was not acceptable to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and other leaders. So we had two set of people who were extremists and other set of people who were very moderate. Finally, the extremists had a say. They went on a, you all aware that Simon Commission had to return because there was a strong protest against these two issues. And the secretary then, Brinkenhead of Britain, who very slyly made a remark saying that Indian political leaders do not have the forethought to come out with any good amendments. That's what propelled them to make a constitution. And Motilal Nehru, the father of Jawaharlal Nehru, was made the chairman, and All India Party was constituted to bring up a constitution. It was this constitution which came up in record time in 1 year, and it was adopted in 1930, 26th of January, 1930. So this is what prompted Jawaharlal Nehru to go for 26th of January, 1950 as the Indian Republic Day. I thought a little bit of a history we must know to appreciate as to how this constitution has come into being for us, and we must really value this. That's apart from little history. Coming back, if I have to really look at how India is positioned right now in the world, there was a time when 3 other countries apart from India who got independence near simultaneously: Israel, China, and Japan. While we look at the other 3 countries who made great strides, and they have become a developed nation in many respects. India lost out in that race during that phase. It's not because we lacked any talent or any motivation for doing it. It is just that the circumstances did not really favor us. But if you look at the churning that's happening in the global order and the recent rapture in where nationalism, everybody started looking inwards, and the nationalism has taken a better part of the rule. And once when people thought the world is absolutely peaceful and progress could take place, developments can be focused on, is no more there. But in all this, like history gives an opportunity once in a lifetime for countries to really come up. And that's where India is in right now. We are at a stage where the opportunity is knocking at our doors, where we can progress and become a developed nation, like the current leadership and the people of the country are wanting the country to become self-reliant, developed technologically, and become a developed nation by 2047. And I must say that every aspect, India is really well poised to grab this opportunity this time and become a developed nation. In that, the silver lining is the India's youth is a very positive factor. It's about 65% of India's population right now is under the age of 35. And you all are part of that 35 years. And you're going to make the difference. And each one of you have to contribute. It's not that only a select section of people contributing to this would propel the country from where we are now to a very developed nation by 2047. In that, I would not fathom to give you any advice at this stage, but things are changing so rapidly that what I say today may not be relevant tomorrow. However, there are a few aspects that I feel in my last 4 decades of my career in the Indian Army, I felt that it really stood me in good stead. Firstly, you must do things the right way. Anything you do the right way. Second is a trust. Trust in all its dimension. Third is the ability to take decision. These are the 3 aspects I thought from my personal example. I would quote one at the end of it, which I'm sure will inspire you all to follow. Coming to the first one, I'm reminded of my days as cadets in the National Defense Academy, somewhere in the mid-70s, where we are required to recite the prayer as the first muster on the squadron base that we have. When we recite the thing, we seek the Almighty to give us the strength to be physically strong, mentally awake, morally straight, and things like that. Apart from this, the other aspect which I want to really highlight is that it says, awaken our admiration for honest dealings and clean thinking, and guide us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong. I say this again, awaken our admiration for honest dealings, clean thinking, and guide us to choose the harder right instead of the easier wrong. I'm sure many a time you would be tempted to follow a path which is easier, but you might reach, but may not be the best, and may not be in the interest of the overall interest of the institution or organization, whatever it is. As far as trust is concerned, for me as a person in uniform, to earn the trust of my command, the soldiers under me, was of utmost importance. While trust has many manifestations in personal, whether it's within the family, your peers, trust with the institution, the school you have, trust with the country, and trust in yourself. All these are very important factors. In the army, if you have to develop a trust, it doesn't happen overnight. And the trust with your soldiers is so important because you're calling the soldiers to lay his life in the, knowing very well that his life is put on the line of fire and he may have to sacrifice himself. So without flinching his eyes, if he has to follow you as a leader and be able to fulfill the mission, then he has to have trust in you. Trust doesn't come easily. Trust comes over a period of time by the way you're professionally skilled, you inspire that confidence in your subordinates, and your genuineness for whatever you are saying. It's not a made-up thing, because the people under you can easily see through over a period of time. And when you spend time with them and know them well, both personally and also his emotional makeup, and see that even though some people may be vulnerable at some time, without that individual feeling the vulnerability, if you're able to really support him and guide him and make him come through in those times, I'm sure you would have really gained his trust to such an extent that he will be willing to lay down his life. So for us in the uniform force, calling a person to do a duty, knowing well his life is at stake, is what is of prime importance. Lastly, decision. You have to be very decisive at every level. You can be decisive if your mind is clear, you're competent. Again, competence comes into play. There's no shortcut. Unless you are very competent, you're very clear about what you have to do. And there are times where you have to take a quick decision, and there are times where you can deliberate upon it, consult. But having taken a decision, then you own the decision. You are responsible for it. You may have consulted hundreds of people to make the decision, but at the end of it, you as a leader, when you take a decision, then you own the decision and you're responsible for it. So when that responsibility comes on you, you know very well that you have to deliberate and put everything that you have learned over the period of time to take that wise decision, timely decision, own the decision, and get it executed to the last. These three aspects, I just want to end by giving one personal example of mine. And though I must admit, at that time, I never knew about these aspects, but it was developed in us as we grew in the system. It was back in 1986 when I, as an young officer with about 6 years of service, deployed in Siachen Glacier that conflict started only in 84. So we were at a height of a place called Bila Phonla. You all must have heard about Bana Top, the Bana PVC, Naib Subedar. It was the same place. While that past the southern shoulder was Bana, the northern shoulder is where the action where I was deployed had taken place. The glacier, altitude was almost about 20,000 feet. Temperatures were about minus 35 to 40 degrees. In a place like that, we had a small team of the adversary holding up with machine guns, rocket launchers, and other weapons, and making that post very vulnerable. So we had to, the task was given to evict him, and that eviction was not very easy. As I said, it was just about 150 meters as the intervening distance, but that 150 meters was a sheer rock, ice wall. A drop on either side would be about 200-300 feet with huge crevices. So there's no other way to approach except friendly. So I was an young officer given the task to clear that. I had been in that post for almost about 2-3 months before. Having observed everything, I knew exactly as to what is to be done. The answer was just a frontal assault, knowing well you have 50% of success, and it's a suicidal mission. But I knew if that was the case, I have to ensure that my team accomplishes the task and I'm able to come back successfully, evicting the enemy. So all these three aspects came into my mind. My trusted people. I knew the men backwards by then. I selected 8 to 10 of them, and mostly from my basketball team and football team, somebody who had gone with me on a patrol earlier, who did well. So picked up those and 3 officers, and I had to ensure that total secrecy was maintained, a detailed planning was done, and coordination was done well before we go. And the last of all, since it was a frontal assault, there's no other way except if I can achieve 100% surprise. How do I do that? So looked for a phase when there is absolute bad weather and middle of the night, and knowing the routine of the enemy cross, because every day one has been watching when is he lax, and chose the time to assault. It was on the 10th, 11th of May, 1986, intervening night, around 11:30 at night. The visibility was just about not even a meter. Heavy snowfall, freezing cold, almost about 40 degrees. And we decided to set out. My only concern at the time was the weapons we carry had to be in a state where we can use it at the end of it. Because that 150 meters had to be crossed, literally crawling, cutting the ice, putting the ropes in that weather. It took us almost 3.5 hours to traverse that 150 meters. But all the time I was worried the daybreak should not be there, the light should not come up before that, and it should continue to snow and heavily. God help, it did, and we ended up surprising the enemy, 100% surprise. The other aspect of surprise I wanted to mention, that those days the coordination was done through word of mouth. I couldn't do it through the radio sets we had, because 86, there was no secrecy. If you speak on the radio set, those days we had ANPRC 25 is what the set we had. The adversary could listen into what you are speaking, and he could listen to and make plans, which he has done number of times earlier. So that lesson taught me, and I said this time we are not going to do any coordination through means of telephone or wireless. It was only through word of mouth. Doing this is not easy, because going from one post to another involves about 5-6 hours of walk. You have to come down, go up through the snow and coordinate literally, and you've got to think of all contingencies and prepare for it. Finally, we succeeded. we went and the enemy was totally taken by surprise. And the post was captured, we got back. So the all of the story I wanted to say is, as leaders, you have to be decisive. When you take a decision, you must ensure that you are able to bring the life of the people under your command safe. That's the foremost task of a leader. You know, you can achieve. Easy way is to mass up a lot of people, go overpower them, and in the bargain, you lose some and you gain some. That's not the way one should be able to achieve at the end of it. You have to use your leadership quality, decisiveness, and the trust I had in my men. And I took a harder path rather than the easier one. I could have very well said, okay, we'll do a fire assault on the enemy with the artillery guns and then move forward on a day when it is comfortable. But I'm sure I would have come back with a lot of casualties and not having really achieved the aim at the end of it. Not that I wanted to give my own story, and it's just to drive home a couple of points that I thought I will mention to you all. And it has been wonderful being here with you all. I know you all disappointed that the rain did not let you go through the program you had, but that's what it is. Flexibility in planning and execution. You're all here and the job is done. And let me wish you all again a happy Republic. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Devraj sir, for your inspiring and thought-provoking address. Your words will remain with us as a guiding force. Gratitude is the memory of the heart. I now invite VN Thiagu of grade 11 to present the expression of gratitude and convey our sincere thanks to everyone who made this celebration meaningful.
Respected Chief Guest, Lieutenant General Devraj Anbu, Miss Gauri Anbu, honorable members of the ACM, respected teachers, and dear students. On this momentous occasion of India's Republic Day, I consider it a privilege to express our sincere gratitude to all those who have contributed to the success of today's celebration. We express our heartfelt gratitude to the Chief Guest, Lieutenant General Devraj Anbu, and his wife, Miss Gauri Anbu, for honoring this occasion with their esteemed presence. Your participation has added great significance and inspiration to our Republic Day celebration. As a token of our appreciation, we would like for you to receive a memento on behalf of the school community. We extend our sincere gratitude to President Mr. Jacob Thomas, Senior Vice President, Student and Staff Welfare, Ms. Sarah Jacob, Head of School, Mr. Vinod Singh, and Headmistress, Ms. Deepa Suresh, for their continued guidance, consistent leadership, and unconditional support. We're deeply grateful to our Director of Activities, Mr. Dominic Jodhurst, for meticulously organizing the event. Our heartfelt appreciation to the choir under the guidance of Mr. Vishnu and the dance team, mentored by Ms. Akshita, for their commendable performances, which beautifully conveyed the spirit of patriotism. We extend our appreciation to the IT team for ensuring seamless technical support throughout the program, and to the photography team, consisting of Mr. Ajay and Mr. Vimal, for capturing the memorable moments of this significant event. We thank Mr. Sashi and Mr. Jackson, along with the team of dedicated Chechis and Annas, for organizing the venue and for their invaluable assistance behind the scenes, which played a crucial role in the smooth execution of this program. We express our profound respect and gratitude to all our teachers for their dedication, guidance, and unwavering commitment to shaping us into responsible citizens. Finally, I extend my sincere thanks to the audience, my fellow students, for your attentive presence and enthusiastic participation, which truly completed today's celebration. As we conclude this Republic Day celebration, let us remember that strength of our nation lies in our commitment to the values enshrined in the Constitution: justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity. Let us strive to be responsible citizens who uphold these ideals throughout our actions and contribute positively to the progress of our nation. May the spirit of patriotism guide us today and always. Jai Hind.
Thank you, VN, for echoing our thoughts. As this memorable celebration comes to a close, let us once again immerse ourselves in patriotic pride. We invite the Indian Music Choir to present Vande Mataram as a fitting tribute to our great nation. All are requested to rise.
School, attention.
वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम् सुजलां सुफलां मलयज शीतलां सस्यश्यामलां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् शोभजोत्स्ना पुलकितयामिनी पुल्लकुसुमितद्रुमदलशोभिनी सुहासिनी सुमधुरभाषिणी सुखदां वरदां मातरं वन्दे मातरम् वन्दे मातरम्
All are requested to be seated. With this, we come to the conclusion of the 77th Republic Day celebration at Good Shepherd International School. Let us pledge to uphold the values enshrined in our Constitution and strive to be responsible, compassionate, and courageous citizens of India. Thank you all for being a part of this proud moment.